Okay. Hi. Welcome to my first sociology reflection for the Padlet assignment. So the first question is briefly share your understanding of race and racism in U.S. society. This is somewhat of like a not tricky subject. It's really complicated for me too as well. So basically, I understand race as a social construct here in the United States and pretty much everywhere around the world. It wasn't really until, from my understanding, like the late 1400s, 1500s, before race even really became a thing. Like people weren't like identifying themselves as like, oh, I'm English or I'm Spanish or I'm Jamaican or I'm American, because a lot of those countries didn't exist. And so when that started happening and the kingdom started becoming countries, people started identifying themselves in certain ways. And then especially here in the US, when people started coming here, they started identifying themselves as like white, the white man, white Europeans, things like that. And that has really been embedded in our culture and society today. I think that the whole idea of like colonization and like white power is still very much present. I mean, we see it in laws that we still have. We see it embedded in our justice system with like the criminal justice. It is still very obvious that there are people of color that are treated very differently than those who are white when it comes to sentencing, what they're charged with, defenses they're given, things like that, leniency. The number of people of color in prison far outweighs the number of white people in prison compared to their total population within the US. So I think that it's something that's like still very relevant in our society. I also know that we have made like lots of different progresses, but I think there's more that we definitely can do and continue to do. So some of the fears that I have about talking about race and racism in the class is mostly just because I'm coming from a white perspective. I feel that I don't know if necessarily my opinions or what I can say are something that can help the conversation, I guess, or even if like my feelings or opinions are really valid because I'm coming from someone that has privilege as a white person. I've been privileged. I get to experience the privilege of being a white woman in the United States and here in the Bay Area. So I kind of find that it's a little bit hard to even join the conversation, or when I do join the conversation, how to make myself known that I'm an ally, but also not without the white savior complex. So it's something that I kind of struggle with. Like I like to sit back and listen more than try to talk so much and take over the conversation. So that's kind of my fear within this class, is that I don't really have much to say because I haven't experienced it. Like as a white woman, I haven't experienced racism. So I don't know how I can add to the conversation or begin to make things better, or try to even find a standing point for what we can change or how to even begin to create change in this country. So two of the modules that I'm most looking forward to are Module 8, the Immigration and Anti-Immigration Policy in the US, and then Module 9, Race, Space, and Urban Inequalities, the Gentrification and Displacement. Module 8, the immigration, really draws to me because my in-laws are immigrants. My husband's a first generation. I've always been like very concerned with how we treat immigrants in this country, especially because this whole country was founded on immigrants. It just has always been so crazy to me the way that people are treated, and how you could say that a person is illegal or anything like that. Like people are not illegal. They're human beings. Like we have always had, open borders until around like the 1800s, and they started making laws. We don't want too many Asian people or Chinese people, when they started building the railroads and things like that, where they really started placing all these laws and like numbers and quantities on immigration. It's something that's been that I've really enjoyed learning about, and I'm excited to learn more. And also just hearing and seeing the struggles that my in-laws have gone through with becoming citizens. It's something that I would like to learn more about and discuss. And then the race, space, and like urban inequality module looks really interesting to me because it says that it's going to focus on like displacement and gentrification. Um, I think that, especially in the neighborhood I live in downtown San Jose, is right there on the border of like downtown into the neighborhoods. It's a predominantly Latin neighborhood, and there is a lot of gentrification that's happening. And to be honest, I find like my family, like my husband, myself, kind of included because we live in a home that has been like remodeled, bought by landlords, like, and they own multiple properties in the area that they rent out. So they're kind of gentrifying the neighborhood as well. And we are taking part of it by living here. I also see that there's a bunch of homes behind us that are all being knocked down. They've been abandoned. They're being torn up because a giant corporation is coming in and is going to build a huge high rise under the guise of affordable living. When this project finally was approved and went through, we kind of looked at the affordable living, and really the affordable living out of the 100 units that are going to be built in this like apartment building monstrosity, only 9 of them actually have to be affordable living. And the definition of affordable living for this building is really anything that's below the normal market value for here. So they can still rent these apartments for extremely high amounts that no one in this neighborhood can afford, but they're still considered affordable housing because let's say like the common, from my understanding, let's say that like, you know, the market value is like 4,000 would be like normal. So if they, you know, rent this apartment out for 3,900, that's affordable living because it's below what the market value is. So I'm actually really interested to kind of learn more about like the people being displaced, gentrification in neighborhoods, how that affects people, has it benefit anyone besides those that are doing the gentrifying. So I'm excited to learn more. And I kind of, what I hope to gain from this class is the ability to be more of an active ally, to listen, understand race and racism in this country, different ethnic relations, how we can try to make a change and try to progress where we are from now and kind of break away from this idea as race without being colorblind. So I don't want to perpetuate the colorblind racism. Oh, we should just ignore it. It's not there, because that's not going to do anything to help the situation. We can't ignore race. We can't ignore color because it's something we've created and it's so embedded into our society, our social structures, our laws, our criminal justice system, that we can't ignore it and what it has done and how we are here. We need to find a way to move forward while trying to disintegrate this whole social construction of race. So yeah, that's me. Thanks for listening to my first sociological reflection for the race and ethnic relations class. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thanks. Bye.